The world of Instagram verification is a wild one filled with misinformation, mystery, and straight up scam artists. And so in today's video, I'm going to go over some new information that has just come out from Instagram as to how Instagram verification works, how to go about getting verified, and I'll even add in some of my own experiences helping many of my clients get verified on Instagram. Now, I know I made a complete video about Instagram verification about 5 months ago, but this information came out just last month, and so I wanted to cover it in an update so you knew all of the latest tips, strategies, and so on. And to keep you safe, before I get into this video, I just want to say there is literally going to be thousands of scam artists in the comments saying DM this guy to get verified or click on my username to get verified, and they're all scams. So don't fall for any of it. I've warned you, please stay away from it. They're just rip-offs. And I know these comments are going to come because it has literally happened on every other video where I've mentioned verification, automation, softwares, etc. There's no way to stop or block these bots, so just stay safe. Anyway, let's get into it. So this article was posted over a month ago titled Understanding Verification on Instagram by Corey Lancaster on the Instagram blog. And it starts off with, over the last few months, we've made some updates to improve the verification application process on Instagram and Facebook. Here's more information about what's changed, what you should keep in mind when applying for verification, plus some other answers to frequently asked questions. Now, they start off with what is verification, and it's the same as it's always been for years and years and years. It is a way to verify notable accounts on Instagram to avoid them being impersonated to then cause harm or confusion to other users on the platform. So it is to verify that this account is Mark Zuckerberg and it is not someone pretending to be him that is trying to scam people and so on. And they go on to say that as part of their ongoing equity work, we revisited our verification process and found that some people were uncertain about the purpose of verification, how accounts get verified, and whether verification affects how an account is treated on Instagram and Facebook. Over the last few months, we've made it a bit easier for people to request verification by updating the form you see in the app. We made updates so people can better understand what needs to be submitted for verification and to offer more transparency on our requirements. These requirements are consistent across Facebook and Instagram. So same requirements for each platform. If you can get yourself verified on Instagram, you should be able to do the same on Facebook. Now, they've given us 5 requirements on how you get verified. Now, obviously, you must follow their terms of use and community guidelines. And in the application process, which, by the way, if you weren't aware, you can do directly in the Instagram app, they require the following things. Your account must represent a real person, registered business, or entity. Your account must be the unique presence of the person or business it represents. Notable entities, for example, pets or publications, are also eligible. Now, only one account per person or business may be verified, with exceptions for language-specific accounts. So, obviously, as it says, you can't have multiple accounts representing the same person verified. But if you are an entrepreneur and you have a personal account, you have an e-commerce business that you run, and then maybe, I don't know, you might own a sports team as well. All 3 of those can get verified because they are separate entities, but you can't have 2 for the same one. And maybe you've got a pet that you've got on Instagram as well. They too can be verified. And when they're talking about language specific accounts, you'll often notice big companies like Nike will have like Nike UK, Nike Germany, Nike Japan, and like different accounts for different countries with different languages and promoting different offers. And so, yes, they will be verified. Now, the 4th requirement is your account must be public, have a bio, profile photo, and at least 1 post. Now, sometimes you might notice a verified account that doesn't have a bio, that doesn't have a profile picture, and doesn't have a post. What would have happened is they would have been verified and then deleted content later. But when applying for verification, if you don't have all 3 of those things at the bare minimum, then, or all 4, then you're not going to get accepted. The 5th and final requirement is your account must represent a well-known, highly searched for person, brand, or entity. And this is probably the one that most people struggle with. Most people have an account that represents someone real. Most accounts are the presence of a real person. Most people are not trying to verify multiple accounts, and most people are public with a bio, profile photo, and at least 1 post. So those 4 are pretty darn easy to achieve. The fifth one is where most people fall short. Now they go on to expand on this point and they say, we verify accounts that are featured in multiple news sources. We don't consider paid or promotional content as news sources. Across Instagram and Facebook, we recently expanded our list of news sources to include more diverse outlets, including those from additional Black, LGBTQ+, Latinx media, I'm not sure how to say that, sorry, and include more outlets from around the world. For example, with the updates we've made, people can also now share information about their audience, the region they're most popular in, and add up to 5 news articles to help our teams have more context when reviewing the applications. So this is good. They've added more news outlets. In the past, I know there was a heavy weighting towards US outlets. So if you had more press in US outlets, it mattered a lot more. For someone like myself, I wouldn't even waste my time targeting New Zealand outlets to get featured in, because in the past, they didn't really hold any relevance to Instagram in regards to verification, of course. So that's good that they've expanded that, and hopefully they've got a lot more countries. Now, an interesting point I'm going to highlight here is they say we don't consider paid or promotional content as news sources. Now, this is a bit of a blurry line, because I'll let you in a bit of a secret. Most of the content that you see in the business media section is pretty much all paid or promotional. Like all of those lists, top 10 entrepreneurs to follow, 30 entrepreneurs that are smashing it, 30 entrepreneurs under 21 you should follow. Like all of these lists of entrepreneurs, and even ones where it's just a straight up article about someone, 90% or more of those are being paid for. So whenever you see your favorite entrepreneur that you follow and they got featured in Yahoo Finance, or they got featured in all of these different outlets, Forbes, Entrepreneur, etc., more often than not, they have paid to get that. With the exception of the likes of Gary Vee or Grant Cardone or Tim Ferriss, who are literally massive well-known names, outside of them, it's all paid for. Because at the end of the day, when Forbes could write an article about how Warren Buffett built his $100 billion net worth, or they could write about how a dropshipper made $1 million, what one do you think is going to provide more valuable and be more interesting? Of course, talking about the dropshipper. He knows more than Warren Buffett. But jokes aside, most of that is paid for. But I think what they're talking about here is when you see the sponsored content. So when you pay the news outlet, because usually the paid stuff that I'm talking about is when you pay the author to include you, or you pay a PR firm to get you into that. I think what they're talking about is paid content when you actually pay like Forbes directly, and it comes up as sponsored and it says sponsored on there. But that's a bit of a sidetrack and a whole nother loop, a whole nother rabbit hole we could go down. Now, onto the frequently asked questions. What does verification mean and not mean? Simply put, verification signals authenticity and notability. It's not an endorsement from us, and being verified doesn't mean that your content is favored by our systems in terms of where your content shows up. We try to ensure impartiality in the verification application process by relying on sources such as credible press coverage and examining the person's cultural impact. For example, are they currently a big part of what people in their community are talking about? Have they recently gone viral? Unfortunately, we know verified accounts can present a security risk for account holders. Hackers may attempt to take control of a verified account to sell the badge, as well as the hard-earned following. We highly recommend that verified accounts have two-factor authentication set up to protect from hacking and to be mindful of scams and impersonation attempts. Now, 2 things I want to touch on here. Firstly, they said being verified doesn't mean that your content is favored by our systems and where you show up. Whilst I believe that is true and they're not pushing you in the algorithm, what they're not mentioning is if your account is verified and someone is scrolling through the explore page and they see no verified accounts, and then they see you pop up, they're probably more likely to stop and look at your piece of content. They're probably more likely to then engage with it, to then check out your account and see who you are. And all of these social signals would boost you in the algorithm because it shows people are interested in you, whether that interest be because of your content or because you're verified. So I think there is definitely an advantage in the algorithm, but the algorithm is not saying because you're verified you're getting this. It's more people are interacting with you. The other thing is two-factor authentication. You should have that set up regardless of whether you are verified or not to keep your account safe. Second to last question, can I transfer my verification badge over to another account? Verified accounts can't change the account's name or transfer that verification onto a different account. The purpose of the blue badge is for people to know that the account has been vetted and we have confirmed that they are who they say they are. So this is another interesting point. You can't change your username, your name, any of that once you are verified, because like they say, this process is like Instagram looking, because you have to submit your ID, your documents, etc. This is Instagram saying, yes, this is this person. They are who they say they are, and they are someone notable. And that's why they're giving them the blue tick. So no, you can't transfer it. And the last question is, what happens when we detect a suspicious or malicious verification? If we find that verification was acquired in a malicious way, or that an individual is selling verified accounts to others, we will take action. We conduct regular sweeps both on and off the platform to find and remove malicious actors from Instagram. Learn more about the community guidelines here. We are always making changes to improve everyone's experience on Instagram and Facebook, and we hope this post helps explain how things work when it comes to verification. For more information, check out our help center. So that is a rather insightful new piece of content that Instagram have put out on the topic, pretty much just stressing that the most important factor of getting verified is having press. There are a lot of little things that they touched on, but they're all pretty easy to fix. The main one is go get yourself a lot of press. You may have to pay for it, just not sponsored stuff, just where you pay a PR firm to get it done for you, if that's what you're looking to do. And that's pretty much it. Now, if you need help getting that press, I don't offer that personally. However, I've definitely got a few good connections who do that. So if you're willing to invest into getting press and you want me to put you in touch with people that I've worked with for clients, then you're welcome to send me an email. I'll put that up on the screen, or inquire with my agency. There will be a link down below, and I'll just put you in touch with the people that I recommend to avoid you getting scammed. That's it from me. I've linked a ton of free stuff to help you build your audience in the links down in the description. There is a link for the free trial of the tool that I use to grow my Instagram. There is my agency. There's a free Skillshare class. There's my free ebook. Ton of stuff. Go check it out. See you all in the next one.